Hello movie lovers and welcome to RealTomRoots.com. This weekend, a Western comedy from director Seth MacFarlane. He's the man who brought us Ted a few years back, and of course, he's the guy who brings you Family Guy. Now, I wasn't crazy about Ted, so I can say that A Million Ways to Die in the West is a much better film than Ted was, but as a fan of Family Guy, I can tell you that I still think MacFarlane works best when his characters and his actors are animated. There's a lot of gags and jokes, sight gags and one-liners in A Million Ways to Die in the West, and some of them work and some of them don't, as is the case with these kind of movies. The movie never gets to be quite as broad of a comedy as I think it could be. This is no Blazing Saddles, and it's best when it is at its most excessive and when it's at its silliest. Now, the story is about a kind of hapless young man, played by Seth MacFarlane himself, who's a bit of a coward in the West, but he is a genuinely really nice guy. But he'd rather talk his way out of a gunfight rather than go through it. And in the West, that is a sign of, well, cowardice that his girlfriend, played by Amanda Seyfried, is not willing to put up with. Well, along comes the wife of a very mean gunslinger. The gunslinger is Liam Neeson. The wife is Charlize Theron. And thank God for Charlize, man, she is great in this film. She is the life and heart of this film. She laughs at MacFarlane's jokes in a way that seems spontaneous, as if she's hearing them for the first time. And it'd be interesting to look into that to see if some of that was sort of ad-libbed and just caught her off guard. This can be an incredibly charming movie when it's not being quite vile and violent. Unfortunately, not all the character actors in this film fare as well as Charlize Theron. The most outstanding failure is unfortunately Sarah Silverman, who I like very much, but in this movie, her hooker with a heart of gold play just does not seem to catch on. She seems too over the top and too silly and only gets away with one or two good lines in the movie. Overall, I think A Million Ways to Die in the West is an enjoyable film. It's quite an adult film in a lot of ways. I think you should wait and make sure that your young person that you're taking to the film is at least 16. Perhaps maybe on your own judgment you might accept 12, but there's a lot of lewd language, lewd situations, and very violent moments. Seth MacFarlane still has a good movie in him, I believe, and it's going to come out soon, hopefully. And somehow I think he would do very well if he did a musical. His musical numbers on Family Guy are fantastic, and there is one musical number here featuring Neil Patrick Harris that is quite good. Check out A Million Ways to Die in the West. It may not be your cup of tea. On the other hand, you may just think it's the perfect little comedic film for an almost summer afternoon.